Okay, so with your permission, we are going to record.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so distinguished ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ransford Bekwe, and I work here at the Association of African Universities. And I'm happy to invite all of you to the first joint conference planning committee meeting of the AAU Pan-African Heritage World Museum UNESCO conference on the diaspora. And this conference will be holding from the 27th to 29th of September this year. I would kindly all of us to introduce ourselves accordingly, and then I'll hand the program emceeing over to Professor Ash to then coordinate for us whilst we do the back assistance. Thank you very much.
To the left, yeah.
I'll pause the sharing now so that we can see each other. Hello, so it is time for self-introduction. So I have with me here my colleague Ajuman Ochridako, who works at the AAU and is a television host, and he will help me with the IT session. Thank you.
Anyone can go next, please.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Violet Makuku. I'm with the Association of African Universities. I'm the Quality Assurance Specialist and Workshops Coordinator, but I'm also the Project Manager for the Harmonization of African Higher Education Quality Assurance and Accreditation Program, which is a brainchild of the African Union. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Nice seeing you again, Doctor.
Thank you. You know, I was laughing inside my heart and I said, we follow each other. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Next, please.
Good afternoon. My name is Alina Sehobie. I'm joining the meeting from Windhoek, Namibia. It's Independence Day here in Namibia. So please wish us well. The rain is also coming down to bless the nation, land of the brave. My background is archaeology, heritage museums, and I'm currently professor extraordinary at Northwest University in South Africa. Pleased to be here in the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, and welcome to Professor Sehobie. Great seeing you. And after Dr. Violet Makuku, I'm glad that we have all of you joining and participating. So thank you. All right, who next? Is okay, yes.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Sylvia Woyungu, Senior Programs Officer with the All Africa Student Union and the lead for the Pan-Africanism and African Culture Working Group. Great to be here, great to share knowledge with you all, and I can't wait to see what everybody has on this all-important project.
Thank you so much, Sylvia. We are delighted to have you as well.
Same here. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Who next, please?
I will go. This is Carl.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Oh, yes, please go ahead.
Hello.
Hello, please go ahead.
Okay, my name is Carl Ampa. I work with UNESCO. I'm in charge of our culture program and an add-on our social and human sciences program as well. And we're invited to be part of this. So we want to see how it evolves and how UNESCO will be able to support. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Mr. Ampa. We are happy to have you here. All right.
Thank you.
Yes. Next. I am Pash Obing, and I work for the Pan-African Heritage World Museum. And so my hope is that we will be traveling together and developing ideas and eventually implement whatever decisions we make at the end of the journey. By now, I'm not sure whether all of you have had access to the concept note which had been sent around to some. If possible, can we please share the concept note, an updated version of that note?
Thank you very much, Prof. I would share my screen once again.
Okay.
And just a moment. Hello, please, if you're able to see the screen, you just let me know. Hello?
Hello, I see it.
You see it? Okay.
How about the other?
Yes, I can see it also.
Okay. So with regards to the theme, 3 ideas floated. Okay, but first, let me say that everything that I have highlighted are things for us to agree upon. So the date is fixed for 27th to 29th of September. So if this is agreeable to all, then we have to pencil this date in our calendars.
Okay. In response to that, I had indicated earlier, not to the whole group here, but because there are some UNESCO dates, such as May 5th as World Heritage Day for Africa. May 5th is the date that the Pan-African Heritage World Museum team is proposing to have the initial launch of the digital museum. And I have already been informed that on May 5th, AAU has a mega meeting. Therefore, it will not be able to host the first part of the launch of the digital museum. So we will have to look for another site to do the launching. Second, the 30th of August, we are suggesting that the 30th of August be considered for the joint conference because it's the International Day for People of African Descent. And one of the reasons we're saying this is that we have not contacted people yet to make commitment for when the conference, the joint conference is happening. So if we are amenable to this idea, we could move the 27th to 29th of September forward to the 30th of August for it to coincide with the International Day for People of African Descent, and then build on that big topic, any of the various topics or the specific topic we will decide on as we journey forward. So that's the only amendment that I am proposing. Any responses, please? Especially AAU, since AAU proposed the 27th to the 29th as the initial date for the joint conference. If there aren't any objections, since I understand AAU has not also contacted potential speakers or participants, again, if it's amenable, then
Hello, Prof. A hand is raised. So, Prof. Alina, if you can hear me, yes.
Yes, thank you. I was going to just first ask, in terms of the dates, if we're expecting submissions in terms of papers and installations, bringing the project forward by a month may just be too short. I wonder if it's possible to maybe, if anything, postpone, because in terms of dates, any scholarly work that we expect, including artistic performance installation, may take a bit of time, especially as we are still, in some regards, just transitioning out of the post-pandemic period. So for performances and other such foreseen activities, an earlier date might be a bit of a challenge. And then for the document throughout, I was just going to ask, my understanding was that with in respect to the acronym, we have come to use the acronym PAHM. So it's no longer the PAHWM. So I'm just wondering, for the concept note, that we may need to just establish the nomenclature in that respect. Thank you, and over.
Thank you very much. Prof, if you can hear us, I think it's an internet challenge, but we'll go on. My understanding was that the August 30th would be like a pre-conference event. That is my understanding. And then the conference still holds from 27 to 29 September, unless I am mistaken.
Okay, I am now back. Hello.
Okay. Yes, Prof.
Sorry, power went out here. It's not like Namibia. Power just went out. So I had to switch to another Wi-Fi. Hello.
We can hear you, Prof.
Okay, all right, thank you. So, okay, so I'm sorry again for the interruption. I lost power completely, and so I'm now using a backup. Okay, please respond to the suggestion that I made.
Prof, the issue was whether there will be call for papers on the 20th of August.
On the 30th.
On the 30th. And is that a pre-conference event, or it is the main conference?
Okay, the 30th is being proposed as the main conference for us to coalesce with what AAU is planning to do. And so we are asking whether, besides the September dates that you have, are you open to 30th of August instead of September 22nd? And then as we go through the checklist, we can begin to work hard towards inviting people, when we get to the sub-themes and who the potential speakers or participants would be. So that's the proposal. We understand that May 5th, which falls on the Africa World Heritage Day, AAU will not be able to host it because of the previous program that you have. So we will find a venue for that. And then we can look at the potential dates for the 30th.
Okay, from the side of AAU, we would have to consult with the senior management because our two previous diaspora conferences were all held in September.
Okay.
So we need to do an in-house consultation and also look at our calendar of events. We normally plan our calendar 6 months in advance. So if you can give us a few days, we would definitely revert in the course of the week. But
Wonderful.
then also the conference, if it should even hold on the 30th of August, will not be a day's event because of the magnitude of presentations and the other sub-teams that we are planning to run the conference on. So maybe it could be 2 days and climax it on the 30th, or it starts on the 30th and goes into maybe 31st and then 1st September. So
yes, that is exactly what we hope could happen, because everything cannot be squeezed into one day. The 30th is a landmark in terms of people of African descent. And so the conference could begin on the 30th and then flow into September. We are not allergic to September at all. We are just saying that because it is the International Day for People of African Descent, if we start on the 30th and then it enters into September 2nd, September 1st, that should be fine, because we will have a lineup of activities and speakers that will help just allow the whole thing to unfold to capture whatever theme and sub-themes we will decide on. So thank you.
May I also make a quick comment?
Okay.
It's good that the focus is on the diaspora. I think it is good. But if we are linking that to people on the continent, then there is also the celebration which we had in January that looks at African and Afro-descendant culture together. Mm-hmm. It's also the only day where you have Africa and its diaspora, celebrating the culture that's contributing to sustainable development. I'm not saying this activity should be pushed to January, but it's just that it should be at the back of our minds that there is a day that can be linked to this as the conference rolls out, to let the diaspora also know that the connection with the continent has another day that also needs to be celebrated. Thank you.
Thank you. Is this Carl?
It is Carl, and that is January 24th every year.
Okay, so let's take note of January 24th, and before we know it, setting key days in the year might not have been celebrated as they were supposed to, and then we could add them to our next recalibration of events. So thank you for sharing that. As you could tell, diaspora is a key word in the joint conference that is being proposed. And so although the date could have been in January, nothing prevents us from drawing insights from what usually would have happened in January into this conference if we held it on the 30th to sometime in September. So thank you, Mr. Ampa. Any other observation before we move to?
Yes, I think
please.
When you went off, there's somebody who raised an important point also. I think they are on the platform that drawing the date closer by 1 month may compromise the quality of papers and presentations and things that people may be preparing to present on during this event. I don't know what people think about that.
Okay. So that's an important point, because that one part of the team may be gearing up does not necessarily mean that the other stakeholders will be adequately prepared for the end of August. We could consider that as we do the checklist, the planning and so on, since as we speak now, prospective participants have not been formally informed or invited yet. So let's keep that important point. What happens, will the conference be abbreviated because we brought it forward virtually a month earlier, or that it would make us quicken our steps in reaching out to people and then see how many can participate. So thank you, Doctor, for speaking on behalf of the person who raised that. All right. Can we now, is it still being recorded? Yes, okay. Can we now take a look at the theme that we want to be used in organizing this whole conference? And whatever decision we make, I hope it's not cast in stone. We can come back and say, no, this word should go first and the other word should come. So let's give ourselves the latitude of saying A, B, C, which one speaks to where we want to go on the dates? Yes,
Yes, thank you. We had 3 proposals. And the keyword that is running through it is Afrofuturism. So the first one, which is the original one that we had, was Afrofuturism, Restitution and Recontextualization of African Thought and Arts. And then the second that came was the past, the present, and the future. Afrofuturism and African development. And the revision to that is the past, the present, and the future. Afrofuturistic African development and restitution. So these are the 3 themes that we have now. I am handing over to my colleague Ajemano Chidaku, who would then help in going through whilst I attend to another meeting, and I'll be back in no time.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Sir Ramsford. Okay. So before us are the 3 possible titles. Any takers on any of them? Unfortunately, I can't see from where I am as to if someone has put up a hand. So please speak up when you have a thought to share.
Through you, Chair. Alina speaking. I must commend the team for coming up with these very, wonderful titles. I myself am very happy with all three and will go with anyone that is a consensus. All of them capture exactly what I think will be the spirit of the conference. So I had a challenge to try to come down with one. So I'm very happy with any one of them and commend the team for the wording of the proposed conference title. Number 2 would actually summarize number 3. So number 2 would be what I would perhaps say lean more to. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Prof. Any other observation, please? Again, I don't see you, so I'm not able to tell if someone has put up the hand. So please go ahead.
I think number 2 is fine because number C seems to have too much of some repetition of some sort. Afrofuturistic African development and restitution. If we take C, we need to remove that African. And now it will read the past, the present, and the future Afrofuturistic development and restitution.
Okay.
Can people hear me?
I hear you.
Hello?
Yeah, we hear you. Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. So that's Doctor's.
So that's my contribution. We will hear which one, yes, is finally taken.
Okay. All right. Any other observation? So the person who is able to do the ongoing editing, could you please do that so that it becomes the past, the present, okay, the future, Afro, okay, futuristic development and restitution. Okay, all right. Okay. Any other? I will go for D because the restitution point will be highlighted. And so restitution then can be diced in many directions. And so my vote will go for D. Any other? Yes.
Chair, isn't C and D exactly the same? Am I missing something? They look exactly the same wording. So we really technically only have 3 choices. And if it's the choice for record purposes, we'll say it's C. Unless I'm missing something, they read exactly the same to me.
No, we'll delete C as it is now so that D becomes C. Because the suggesting is for us to delete African and have Afrofuturistic development and restitution. So it should be A, B, C, and C, which is D now, should replace current C. Mr. Ochre.
I got you. I see. I
Okay,
missed
so
Africa.
we replace D with,
Definitely.
replace C with D.
Exactly. So that C will now become, okay. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, that's it. Mm.
Okay. All right. Then could you please, okay. So where are we hanging our hats? My shirt has been hung on C.
Me too, I support C because it's very clear, direct, and it captures almost everything that is in A and B.
Okay, all right. Okay, beautiful. So let us then use C as the working title or theme for the planning then. So thank you. And now, if we are all ready, let's move to the body of the concept note. I know that this is not a finished product. And I know also that other organizations are being added to not only the planning, but also the implementation. So please go through the first paragraph and tell me, so the first paragraph would also have to change in terms of what has been the title. So the D, which has become C, could now become the special diaspora conference titled what we just said. Okay. Thank you. And also, the other collaborators, we have Africa Union, Development Agency, PANAFEST, NEPAD, Ghana National House of Chiefs, Ghana Cultural Forum, Diaspora African Forum, Pan-African Youth Union, AASU. AASU, are we there?
Yes, Prof, we are here.
Yes, we are here.
Okay, all right. Okay, we just want to make sure.
Hello, Prof. Hello,
Hello.
Prof. Yes, we
Hello,
need to
I'm here.
correct Afrofuturism. No, we said
To
Afrofuturistic.
Futuristic, yes.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Ochiri. Okay, thank you. All right. Okay. Okay, so that's the first paragraph. And could we, yes, scroll it down. Okay, so previously we had September 2022. And because we are also suggesting August, why don't we include it in our notes, the August date, please? Mr. Archery.
Yes, Prof. So it's going to be 30th August to 1st September, right?
Yeah, tentative. Okay.
Does it look good, Prof?
Okay. Please.
Thank you.
Thanks. And again, what we are reading is not cast in stone. We can always review, recast as we approach the date. We can move on if there are no comments to the next paragraph, please. Okay. Okay, you can scroll down still. I know not all of us read with the same speed, but after this, Mr. Ochre, Ajima Ochre, if you could send whatever we have edited to all the participants, that would be helpful because others will come up with more ideas.
All right, Prof. So I have their emails attached and the documents I'll
Okay,
send to everyone.
Beautiful. Any questions about what we have read so far? Okay, let's move on, please. Please carry on. All right, next, please. Okay, let's get to the sub-themes. There is nothing magical about 6 sub-themes. If we have strong sub-themes that would attract people from all over the world to speak to, participate in, and act out whatever we intend, that's more important than the number of sub-themes, because having sub-themes will require different breakout rooms or spaces during the conference. So again, we are not tied to 6. So from the main idea or theme, what are some of the thoughts that jump at us so that we could develop the sub-themes as we think through them? Any takers? Asu, you are here, right?
Yes, please, we are here.
Okay, all right. So last year, we gave a sub-theme that, yes, harnessing youth in the creative industry to drive African intergeneration, that's, you know, speaking to the youth. So please share with me what your thoughts are, not just ASU, but all of us on this platform. These are just initial ideas.
Yes, may I please, through the chair, just make a contribution?
Please.
On
Go ahead.
Let's go back to the 3 themes where we selected C.
Okay.
I want to check the first theme.
Okay.
Yes. So I want to concentrate on A, which was saying restitution and contextualization of African thought and arts. So I just wanted to say, if possible, let's make sure that this African thought and arts is also captured in the sub-themes, but I've already seen arts there, so that's good. We are not throwing it away completely.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Thank you. So I think, yes, reclaiming sub-theme 3, right? Reclaiming and reconceptualizing African, which is different from recontextualizing, but it depends on its semantics. So the idea behind the recontextualization is, this is just a thought. If amongst the various topics, we stress the fact that whatever might have been taken or had been taken outside of continental Africa, when it's brought back, there are some people in Europe and America who keep arguing that those artifacts, those stories will not have homes on the continent of Africa. But the counter-argument to that is that when they return to their places of origin, the African knows how to rehouse them. That's where the idea of recontextualizing, because they were removed from their original settings and placed somewhere else. Even the stories that were borrowed, right, were given different characteristics. But when the stories are told by Africans, what kinds of flavor will be given to those stories so that we understand what recontextualization or reconceptualization is all about. So I wanted to reinforce Dr. Violet's point. I'm done.
May I make a contribution? I think that some of the artifacts that have come back, we have seen that in some African countries have been housed properly. So that argument is not, for me, it's not very, very, very justified.
Okay.
If something is yours that has been taken away from you, it needs to be returned. Whichever way you would keep it, it's up to you. But again, it's good that you're able to keep it for your people and for the rest of the world to see. So that's where I would come from.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. So we have sub-themes. These can be amended. The phrasing can always change. Do we need 7 sub-themes? How about a broad question like that? I'm looking at sub-theme number 7, which highlights education. Education in the broader sense, not just formal classroom education. What are our thoughts?
Prof, do you mean to say we want to expand it to open up for informal?
To me, as we strive to reconnect with how Africans have been educating themselves and others before the arrival of formal educational system, we have always had our own forms, formula, channels of using non-formal and formal education. So when we talk about curricula changes, I know that we could address specific topics, but I'm also talking about the process of re-engaging where we are in terms of educating one another before the arrival of Europeans or Euro-Americans. So this is just a thought for us to look at so that the focus is not on make changes in the curriculum per se, but I'm also talking about the whole concept of how do we educate ourselves and one another, not only through formal, but non-formal. How are we able to capture that? So that's the point that I was insinuating.
I think it's a good point, surely, because informal education also is very important because in some settings, we really need to blend the two, the formal and the informal. So now our brainstorming is on how do we rephrase it so that it can capture the informal aspect, which is not coming there.
Correct. Correct. Because I'm looking at sub-theme 2 and sub-theme 7. And the language used in either case, you see, I'm wondering where the pre-European or Euro-American contact ways of imparting knowledge and receiving knowledge can fit in so that when we say this person is educated, we are not just saying the person speaks French or speaks English or uses Western essays type of literacy, but that the person is knowledgeable because the person has embraced both the formal and the non-formal or informal. We don't have to, but these are ideas for us to think about so that even after our meeting, someone could come back and say, guess what? I've thought about the education component and we can do it this way or that way. Am I making myself clear? Do we understand the point that I'm making?
Yes.
Okay. Professor Sehobe, are we there?
I'm here, sir. I'm listening.
Okay.
Very attentively. I'm not quarreling with it. Remember, I've read and made my own comments and feedback on the document. So yes. I'm at ease with what is the updated version.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Okay.
May I make a quick point here also? Now, looking at it, this is perhaps the area where matters around the intangible cultural heritage of, of Africa and its diaspora can be infused into the educational system. So this is what I've been playing in my mind and thought I would just share that with the team. I'm done.
Okay.
I'm done.
So any thoughts on the fusion that, or you want to take some time to
perhaps maybe think through it more.
Okay, and then
on how this could be done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. All right.
If I may, Chair, I'm just looking at the time and the agenda. Since we're going to select the working committees, maybe the fine tuning can be delegated to the scientific committee that will look at this, because I think in broad terms, the sub-themes cover the key issues. So maybe if only there's an omission, we could try to bring that on. But my thoughts were that the scientific committee that is delegated can then fine tune and then submit. Then at the next meeting, there's anything to take out or reinsert that can be done by that committee, just so that we can cover the current agenda for the day. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. So could you please, Mr. Ajimang Ochiri, now the next item is setting up subcommittees.
Yes. Yes, Prof.
Okay. So now that those who have spoken and those who haven't spoken, we know you are here. So we are now going to hello. No pressure. All right. All right. Can we go back to where the agenda items have been listed for the meeting? So we've spent time on concept note and now setting up subcommittees. Now, given where we are coming from, I think this is my suggestion. The fact that there are people from the constituency of youth groups does not mean all of them should be put on the subcommittee that plans for the youth. How about that? How about this general thought that I'm making? My point is that people from ASU could serve on any of the subcommittees once we set them up. And then people from AAU could also serve on any of the subcommittees. And so now, why don't we ask for volunteers, given the broad strokes that we have looked at? And Mr. Ajimang Ochiri will begin putting down names as people volunteer to be on committee responsible for restitution, committee responsible for development, committee responsible for youth and arts and so on. We could, I mean, that's why we are here. We can come up with any subgroups that we want. So Dr. Violet, could you suggest, since you are the strategic person, what subcommittees come to you?
Don't we have any which were listed earlier in that other document?
Okay.
I think there's another document which is not this one.
Yes, I know.
Which had subcommittees. Am I right?
I think Ransford may have may have one other document.
Yes, yes.
Let's see. I think that document preceded today's event. Mr. Bequin may have, because, okay.
Let me
check
check on it, but I think we don't have it on our WhatsApp group. But what I know is that I saw some subcommittees. Let me quickly retrieve it.
Okay.
Yeah, the checklist document. Let me see if I can write. I got it. Yes. So on the checklist document, there's the local organizing committee. Then there's something which I saw. I'm just scrolling.
Yeah.
Right. So we have publicity and social programs, technical backup, human and logistics arrangements, sustenance, conference venue arrangements, financial arrangements. Can people take note of these? I think it's better that way. And then people can now volunteer which one they want to be in. There's financial arrangements. There's, let me scroll. Conference venue, financial arrangements, conference venue, arrangements. There's also sustenance,
local,
human and logistics, human and logistics arrangements, and then technical backup, publicity and social programs. Yeah, this one, yes, I think that's about it. The post-meeting activities, I think it's something else, because we would need, I don't know where we are going to place things like the rapporteurs, because they have a special responsibility there. But I can see on post-meeting activities, rapporteurs reports received.
Hello, boss.
Go ahead, Prof.
Oh, yeah. Yes. So can you please, Mr. Ajiman, can you please share the checklist so that others will be able to see what Doctor is saying?
Prof, this one, the one shown on the screen. Hello, Prof.
No, Ajiman.
Yes, Doc.
There's one with green lines. It's the title of that document is a checklist. Checklist local, yeah, checklist LOC. That's the title of the document.
Hello, this is Ransford, and I'm
okay.
Hello, Brother Ransford.
Yes. What we have on the screen is the checklist that incorporates everything, even including the technical backup and then the social programming and publicity. But we have divided that into segments. So you will see that another first one, a local organizing committee, deals with only issues related to the LOC. But as we scroll down, you will see some activities, participants. Then we see the financial arrangements. You see the conference venue arrangements. You see the sustenance, human and logistics arrangement, technical backup.
Colleagues, you might need to refresh the screen. The document you are speaking to is not yet projecting.
It's not projecting?
No.
Yes,
Not yet.
it's not there.
Okay, just a moment. We'll go off and then come back.
Okay.
We have this.
All right.
Okay, thank
Yes.
you.
Now, yes. Yes.
Sorry about that. We thought you were seeing it, so I was just running through.
Okay.
So on this checklist, we have activities and who should be responsible and the possible completion dates. So these we have shared already. I think there are just minor changes. So on the LOC, we have the formation of the subcommittees. And we were just thinking of an initial 3 subcommittees, which is the item number 3. And that is to have a finance subcommittee that will be responsible for doing the budgeting and then helping us to identify who can support. And then we're looking at the logistics subcommittee that will be responsible for the bolts and nuts of the program, including with the IT, and then the admin subcommittee, that is basically the one doing the writings and the draftings and the review of documents. And we possibly say that after today's meeting, we can now divide ourselves into where we find our niche areas. And then by 28th of March, which is next week, we would have identified ourselves into these 3 groups. So that is for us, the LOC or the local organizing committee members. But then between numbers 1 and 10, we have in there the finalization of the concept notes, which is also by next week, Monday, is circulation, and then work begins when we start scouting for partners and sponsors. Then in order to avoid multiple letters flying elsewhere, the admin subcommittee will give us a template on how to present letters and documents to the various stakeholders. Then we want to meet every 2 weeks, whether virtually or through the hybrid system, so that we go through the checklist to see which activities have been done and which are pending. Because it's a hybrid meeting with physical presence, we need to develop an information bulletin, informing people about travels to Ghana, the COVID protocols, the fees, the sightseeing, etc. So this AAU and the Pan-African Heritage Museum would assume that responsibility. And obviously, we need to draw a program if we have to send letters out. So this, between now and April, is what the LOC would have to assign ourselves to. So I'll pause here under the A for comments.
Thank you. So the work has been done for us in terms of where we could sign up to be part of. So once again, we could receive people saying, yeah, I want to serve on this subcommittee or so, or you could send the information to WhatsApp or email so that we know how many we have under which sub-theme committee? Since we now have the various committees, do we have takers now, or you want to go and think about where to sign up to belong? Could you scroll?
To ask Brother Rans, there are other sort of subcommittees down there, the ones which I was looking at, like conference, what, sustenance, human. Is it that we start with these three, and later on, when we have these three, there's a time when we will now have to subdivide again publicity and social, technical, human and logistics, sustenance, conference, what is it like? How do these relate to these three subcommittees?
These three subcommittees are responsible for all the activities down there. The other ones are just activity lines, not for instance, if you pick B is participants. And obviously it's going to be the admin subcommittee that will be writing letters, and then the main work with the logistics subcommittee with the flights, meet and greet. So these three initial subcommittees would then go through and pick those activities that align with their roles and responsibilities.
Through you, Chair, I think given the timelines, it will be good to already have a scientific or conference subcommittee that can begin to look at the issue of actual, the content. For example, if we're going to have keynote presentations, that should be in there. If we're going to have scientific papers, that should be in there. But I'm thinking especially we need to make sure that that committee also has a broad representation for the youth, for the diaspora, so that we can already begin to work towards seeing how best to cross-represent our diverse constituency stakeholders, including who to reach out to for keynote speakers, where we want to place emphasis in terms of the themes, and just already hit the ground running. And that's one of the important subcommittees we need. I can see Dr. Vai and Carl and perhaps Sylvia being key members of that committee, because we do need representation and we do need the thematic expertise across the different areas, including, of course, their representation. I hand over, thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Prof. And you heard your names being volunteered. So some of you, some of you have been generously volunteered. So this is your reward for.
I also volunteered that one. I will be happy to join my colleagues.
Okay, now, all right. Now it's getting exciting. So, Prof, could you give a title for the committee or subcommittee that you have generously volunteered others to serve on? What will be your mandate? What will be your responsibility?
I think they've already, the colleagues, they have already put it in the screen, just scientific subcommittee. It covers every aspect, including the artistic soliciting, for example, want arts performances that will be in there, but especially the speaking, a program, the fine tuning of the speakers program, etc., etc. I would also perhaps suggest that there is, what is it called now? Oh, sorry, I forgot. My mind slipped. I was going to suggest a committee that could, or at least somewhere in the finance and logistics, some, I think it's logistics that will deal with protocol and high-level invitations. So in the logistics, perhaps there should be a protocol subcommittee. But I think Doctor has already alluded to that activity under B, because the handling of international invited guests, VIPs, etc., needs to already also commence with earnest. But I think that will fit well in the logistics committee. So just a scientific committee, subcommittee that will deal with the academic aspects, the cultural aspects, and all the issue of the themes, representation, and making sure we're inclusive is where I think the scientific subcommittee will cover that. Thank you, over.
Thank you. Thank you, Prof. And so, Sarah Ransford, we heard her, right? That she is on that committee. And because she's spoken so eloquently, we know that she could adequately chair that subcommittee. So thank you. I'm also volunteering you.
Prof.
Yes.
Prof, first, we thank the subcommittee members, but we want to pick their names again. And
okay.
Then secondly, it looks like everybody is going to that subcommittee, so the others will be left hanging on one leg.
Okay, so now let's see whose names were mentioned. I know everything is being recorded, so whether you speak up or not, your name is on record. So,
I know.
So Prof, give us your name and then the people that you will be shepherding.
So is that for me?
Yes, yes.
No, I think the colleagues can speak for themselves. I volunteered them. If they are agreeable, they can put in the chat, yes, happily so. And yeah, we roll from there. My suggestion, if it's agreeable to the committee, is that we should also have the leeway to co-opt. I'm thinking that Carl may want to bring in one or two other people who can handle, because the diaspora can be quite broad and big. The diaspora portfolio, maybe they need to bring in two more. So if we're given the latitude to co-opt, that would also help us with the handling of the very big task ahead. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Okay, Dr. Makuku says she is fine with that. So are you going to be on that committee?
Sure.
Yes.
All right.
And I think if possible, following Ransford's observation, where it is possible, we should also assist in other subcommittees. For example, I can be in the scientific subcommittee and in the admin. If the meetings will not clash, I'm comfortable also being in the admin.
Okay. All right. So she is volunteering.
May I make a suggestion, please?
Okay, please.
On our part, I think that a formal message to our head of office would help, because that UNESCO as an institution, I believe, can be there and also provide support in other areas, but it has to be official sent to him and then a head of office, and then he can actually delegate, because we have different programs, culture, we have education, we have this and that, and then maybe individuals may be asked to be on XYZ committees. So that would be my suggestion, please.
Okay, taking note of that, and I will crave your indulgence to, the language that makes magic work at UNESCO. So if you could just suggest the person to whom it should be sent and some of the key aspects that will be the turning point, please send the information to me and we'll follow up. Okay.
Okay. We'll do that.
May I even suggest that Carl could also even draft the letter and send it to you.
Okay, fine.
If that is okay.
Yeah, that simplifies it because you know the language that turns heads at your organization, right? So please send us a sample letter and then as a draft, and we will go with it. Is that agreeable?
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. All right. Well, we have the scientific subcommittee, and that has already, yes, touched on the admin. How about those that are going to do the technical? The team that will be helping us with the AV and all related matters, projecting aspects and all that. Could you please, oh, okay, I almost left the screen. Which other, sub-themes do we have there besides what we just talked about?
We have the finance.
Okay, finance, and then the publicity. I heard that, right?
Yeah, the publicity will all fall under logistics.
Okay, all right. So how many will volunteer for that or be volunteered for that? AAU would definitely be part of it because, I mean, when we have the main conference, we hope that we'll be able to use your radio stations and others. So. Any takers, please?
Yes, I volunteered, but I hope I will be working with other people, Ransford, to make sure that everything goes on according to plan.
Okay. Thank you, Doc. Which other group are we missing?
But Prof, don't leave because are we done with that? With
No,
that
I haven't
admin
left.
subcommittee?
No, I haven't left. I'm still here. So, So if we say finance, logistics, admin, scientific subcommittee has been spoken for. And now we have the logistics. Will the logistics cover, from your understanding, cover publicity and others, or publicity will be separate from logistics? What is your understanding, Mr. Bequin? Hello.
Hi, Prof. He just stepped out.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Prof.
Hello. Yes, please
I
speak.
can say that instead of just saying publicity, let us say marketing and publicity.
All right.
What do you think?
Yes, I embrace, speaking for myself, I embrace that idea because it's not just splashing the airwaves with information, but we are also, so to speak, selling ideas, stories, concepts, and images. So that is worth including in that. So marketing and publicity, or publicity and marketing. As a committee, a subcommittee that will tap the skills and resources of those that have the know-how. And again, this is where those that are into WhatsApp and tweets and the others will come in. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah, this is James from us. So I think ASU will be part of the logistics. Now we said marketing and logistics, so it will be part of that team.
Marketing and publicity.
Yeah, ASU will be part. I personally will join that team.
All right.
And the youth as well. Anything related to the youth, actually, for ASU.
Okay. So publicity and marketing.
Yes.
Okay. So we have the scientific subcommittee.
Absolutely.
We have the publicity and marketing. Which one? Publicity, marketing, scientific subcommittee. Which other leaps at us?
You made mention of a subcommittee for the youth, something concerning the youth.
Mm-hmm.
If we can go on that committee, I would be happy. Because, you know, we are a youth-led organization as well, so it's actually appropriate that we'll be on that committee as well.
Okay, so Mr. Ajimang Ochri, are we able to scroll down to see so that we don't reinvent the wheel? Because I know the youth has been named somewhere.
Absolutely.
Okay, even if we don't have it listed here, we can have that standing on its own. But as we have been indicating, that someone is youthful does not mean that's all their responsibility. The young people can also serve on the other committees, particularly the publicity, because they tend to be savvy in that field. So do we agree that we should have a subcommittee that focuses on the youth in terms of the planning and what their recommendations would be towards the conference? Do we all agree? Please share your thoughts and feelings.
For me, I think, you know, we have like the youth can be from the diaspora or from Africa. Mm-hmm. And then we have the diaspora themselves, and we have the people who are in Africa. Mm-hmm. So I think I would just need some justification of why we would want to have the youth committee, because these youth, are we only saying the youth in Africa or the youth even in the diaspora? We need to be clear which youth, and we also need to be clear why it is so important to have a subcommittee for the youth. Thank you.
All right. This is for all of us to speak to the question that has been posed. I think in the broad strokes of the sub-themes, we remember that there is a focus on the youth. And so the question is, should we have a subcommittee that will only work on the youth dimension, or that the young people can bring their youthful energy to serve on any of the subcommittees that we are proposing? Any responses to that question? Please.
12. I believe the young people serving on the other committees sounds okay with me. That's better. We can stick with that one, rather than having a standalone committee for the youth.
Okay. What's your response to that? Who spoke earlier for the standalone youth committee?
So I actually chipped that in because when you started, Prof, you made mention of something relating to the youth. So I was wondering if there's going to be a committee for the youth, or the youth is going to be part of the committees you've already set up. That's all.
Oh, okay.
So we know where we have to put some of our stuff, because like I told you, we are within that diaspora as well, and having presence within the 74 African countries means that we have the capable hands to join in Ghana and beyond. So we just don't want to leave that larger parts of the youth out of the program or project.
Okay. Well, thank you for that clarification. I think earlier it was insinuated that once we have cross-generational or intergenerational committee membership, people in their 90s, such as I am, may be making a point. And then those in their 20s and 30s would also bring some ideas. So our plan is to have that cross-generational or intergenerational membership, so that whether it is finance, publicity, or the scientific subcommittee, will have the youth represented there. And so the question is, given our preparedness to embrace this intergenerational participation, should we have a stand-alone committee that focuses on the youth?
If I may, Chair,
Okay.
I would support both positions. The representation across the various committees is fantastic, and it should actually be there. But I think reflecting on how these events and conferences over the last couple of years, maybe 2 decades have gone, it would also be wise to have a standalone committee for youth, because especially as we're looking at the future, because oftentimes youth may come into committees, but then tend to be, how can I put it? They tend to be muted by the voice of the wise. And I think retrospecting on maybe some of our experiences when we're much, much younger in these meetings, it would be great that young people can have their own safe space where they can co-create, co-produce, and I would say ignite the conference's current and future activities with what really is a space that is for me now as an elder, completely foreign territory for me. So I always find that when they're amongst their own, young people really come out with energy, vibrancy, and innovation. And as these are our key words, and especially because the future is what we're looking at, they should be accorded that platform, resources permitting. And I'm sure that that would really bring out a lot more for us, but also that they can still be represented across if it's not too much duplication. Thank you, and over.
Thank you.
Hello, Prof.
Yes.
Would like to inform the House that we've done 2 hours. So
all right. So we'll be, yes, we don't want our meetings to take hours and years. So thank you. I think we can, how about say, it's not because the suggestion came from a youth group, but if we have a youth subcommittee, then they will have some ideas and thoughts to share with us. Right now, let me go over what I have. The publicity and marketing, scientific subcommittee, and youth subcommittee. Have I overlooked any? So that we can begin wrapping up. I know that our conversations are getting energetic, but it's good for us too, because some are in a different time zone. So should we bring things to a close now and then recap? That's why we are recording this, so that we'll be able to furnish all those who have attended with what we covered. And then, so what we did was we touched on the concept note, and then the sub-themes. We have also touched on setting up subcommittees. And what I have now are 3 subcommittees, and all of them constituted by volunteers and people who have been volunteered for. The youth committee, could I have the person who, sorry, I didn't get, you didn't mention your name, so that you could head. Yes, Sylvia. Okay, okay. Could we have you as heading that subcommittee and constituting it, and then the scientific, we have Professor Shobai Sehubai. Are you willing to do us a favor of chairing that for us?
The scientific subcommittee, Prof?
Yes.
I'm happy to do that. Thank you.
Beautiful. And then publicity and marketing, Doctor, are you heading, because you mentioned administration as being an important aspect of that. Are you happy to chair it for us?
Will I have a co-chair? Because I think I would need some assistance.
Okay, good.
Where is it? And Ransford and Ajiman, maybe, I don't know who else is in that committee, because we just need
Awate. Awate is
this
also
is
there.
a committee which we need.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awate is also there. All right. So, my friends, I really appreciate your time, and I can see things moving in the right direction. So, Mr. Ajiman Ochredakun, since you have been recording this, could I ask you, we'll chat after this meeting, as a way of having a summary of what we've touched on, and the fact that we have 3 subcommittees emerging from this meeting, and also the fact that we are still tweaking the concept note, and then we will inform all of you of our next meetings. Any comment before we bring the meeting to a close? Please.
Yes, Prof.
Hello.
I think there's somebody who raised the point that it's now PAHM and not PAHWM. Am I right?
It used to be POW without the M, but then on the website, it has the M. But that technical thing we can tweak later. We can because I'm in conversation. I'm in conversation with Honorable Yanka. So we will see which one that we should project to the world.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. Any question before we bring it to a close? Could anyone please? Yes, that will bring the meeting to a close.
Hello, Prof.
Hello, this is Carl, right?
No, that is Ajiman.
Oh, Ajiman. Okay, please.
Yeah, wanted to find out when our next virtual meeting will be taking place if we adjourn today's meeting.
Okay, so our hope is to do this every other week, so that in 2 weeks' time, does this time work? Does this day work for those that are here? Because we missed the others since they had prior engagements. For those that are here, will 2 weeks from today, this very time, work? Do you prefer noon to 11:30? Please let me know before we sign off. Does this day work? That's what's today? Monday. That's a Monday at 11:30 or 12 work for those around the table. Then you could, 2 weeks from today, not next week, but 2 weeks from today. May I know by, not by hand, by voice, those that say it will work? Could you please say yay?
Yay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, no problem.
All right. Okay. So what's the date so that Mr. Dakun could, yes.
Prof, that makes it 5th April.
April 5th.
Yes, please.
Okay. April 5th, 2022.
Yeah.
And once AAU officials, those represented here, find out whether that day is open to your venue, some of us will come directly to your premises so that we'll have a hybrid meeting. Because today, since you already have an ongoing program, everything has been virtual. So our hope is that on April 5th, we could have the hybrid, those that are in Accra and can find their way to East Legon will be in a physical space there, and then we will run the meeting from there. All right. Can someone now move that the meeting be brought to an end?
But I had another question. Sorry, Prof.
Okay, that's okay. That's okay. Yes.
I wanted to ask that we have talked about the program. I can't see up there what we have. Can you scroll, Ajeman?
Can you scroll up or down?
Yes, up. I want to see what is at the top.
Okay.
Are we within the, go up, Ajaman, up, 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 right. Whether we are within our time schedule is what I wanted to check. So if we are within, that's fine. Thank you.
Okay. Are we within it? Mr. Ajiman?
Yes.
Yes, we are, Prof. Yes, we are, Prof.
Okay. Yeah, because we have
We are good.
14th March, we have 14th March, we have 28th March. Yeah, so by April 5th, all these subcommittees would have had time to gel, so to speak. Okay. All right. Is that what the good doctor was asking about?
Yes. To say, if we're meeting 5th of March, we should make sure that we are in touch with all those outcomes that we want, yes, and the tasks which we are supposed to do in order to make sure we fulfill those timelines.
Yes, okay. Okay, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. Now, do we have someone moving? Doctor, since you were the last speaker, could you please do us the honors by moving that the meeting be brought to an end?
Yes, the meeting can be closed. Thank you.
All right. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And I assure you that our subsequent meetings will not go past an hour. So today, since it's the first of coming together and trying to tweak certain things, I appreciate all your contributions, and let's do it. And so the meeting has been called to a close. Thanks again.
Thank you.
And thank you. And those who have not given their contact information to either Mr. Bequin Ransford or to Mr. Dakun Ajiman, please do so that whenever we disseminate information, everyone could get it. So thanks so much. Thank you for coming. The meeting is now over.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye for now.
Thank you very much, colleagues. Have a blessed day.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Thanks.